It's a quick and simple project tonight, I think. Just a few things make it a little bit of a wow, which is great. And so these are always the nice kinds of cards to have, that they don't take too long, and you know, you can bang it out and you can change the sentiment up pretty quickly. But we have this little butterfly card here, and I'm going to show you. And by the way, like I've got blisters and there's all sorts of stuff going on with my hands. So I apologize. Try to overlook that. Try to look at the cards and not my hands. But if I bring this card up closely, I don't know if you can see the shimmer. Underneath it's the rainbow glimmer paper. So there's lots of nice shine there. And of course, we've got the in color jewels here. Hi, Anne. Hi, Diane. And so pretty easy card. Let's go ahead and I have to wait until it turns 7:31 on my computer before I move on. But so we'll be doing this. I will want, just so you know, this one has a green card base, but because I'm using a different end of the glimmer paper, we have a couple different choices. So we can use Gorgeous Grape or Mango Melody. Is it Mango Melody or Mango Medley? It is Melody, Mango Melody. Or we can use Melon Mambo. So what's your preference? I don't really care which one we use. They all cut up the same way. So you can tell me, but this is the glimmer paper we're starting with. And we will need a piece of basic white cardstock. Hi, Vivian. We'll need a piece of basic white cardstock that is 1/4 inch less than your card base. So this will measure 4 inches by 5 1/4. You'll need a piece of black scrap. This is 1/2 inch wide, and the length I'm gonna, we'll work on the length afterwards. And you'll need the card base color of your choice anyways. So what page is that paper on? I missed the mango. The mango is with all the rest of the colors. So let me just kind of take my catalog here. Mango's in the brights grouping. So let's see if we just turn here. So Mango Melody, where are you? Right here in the Brights collection. So that's been a color now for, I think this is the 2nd year it's been a color. And I'll show you in the catalog is where this inspiration came from for this card. So right here on page 158 of the annual catalog, this one has a lot more butterflies. It actually uses all the dies. Here's my honest reason why we're not using all the butterflies. Because I find it's hard to get a nice clean cut when you're filling up that whole page with all these intricate dies. It's just a lot of work on your machine. You could of course do them separately, in a couple different passes, but I just chose a few less. That's all. So that's where the inspiration for this comes from. So we're going to be using the Brilliant Wings dies. We're not actually going to be using Butterfly Brilliance, the stamp set, which coordinates with those dies. We're just using the dies. And specifically, I'm not using the big dies. I'm just using 3. I'm using the big one of the medium ones, and one of the small ones. So I'm going to get my Big Shot out here, and because it's a card-sized base, or close to a card-sized base, I need my full-size, I think I said Big Shot, but I didn't mean Big Shot, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And so let's see here. We're going to put our piece of basic white. Hey, I got new plates. Obviously, I've used them a little bit. Had to figure out what I was doing for you guys. It's nice to have nice clean ones that aren't warped and bent out of shape. So I'm going to put my dies on here, and I just sort of have my butterflies going in all sorts of directions. Vary it a little bit. Let's see. How do I want this? How about like that? Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty good, I guess. I don't want my butterflies too close to the edges either. And I suppose I should have just verified that my white paper was the right width, and it is. So we're going to put, so we've got the number 1 plate, the number 2 plate, a number 3, our cardstock and our dies, and then we've got another top plate. Hello, Deb. Nice to have you. Just going to put that on there and roll it through. Now, I actually like when I have these detailed dies because sometimes they jump, and that's what gives sort of a bad cut too. So I try to roll back and forth while I'm still on them a little bit. So I go back here a little bit. So it's really kind of coming under it twice. The pass is happening twice. So that should be good. We'll fold this back up and get it out of the way. I forgot my iPad at work today, so I've got my computer over off at the side here and trying to keep an eye on some comments. So I'm just checking my butterflies and make sure I've got no paper left inside them. And this has a lot of paper left inside it. I'm going to just take my little tool here and get a lot of this out and make a nice big mess while I'm doing it. All right, so this little guy comes out, and he's very detailed, so you just want to be careful when you're removing him so that you don't tear him, her, whoever. I'm going to take these guys off. We'll set that off to the side. And this is not trash, so you want to hold on to that. So we're cutting it up and then we're putting it right back together. So you can see that most of this stuff comes out very easily. That's good. This butterfly's done. I could take your pick tool too and use that pokey part. That's the technical term for the sharp end, pokey part. I love using such technical terms. When I was teaching math, I would use technical terms like thing all the time. I know it's not the best, but hey, everybody knew what I was talking about. I think. Maybe not. Not everybody passed my class. All right, so we've got all those things out. My butterflies look good. Let me just clean up my sheet here, my space here a little bit. All right. So I think the first color that I saw was use melon. All right, I'm going to use melon mambo. That's probably a good color because it's right there in the middle. It seems to be almost the strongest color that's there. So I'm going to just cut my piece of cardstock in half. And then I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. So there we have that. And I am going to use this piece of cardstock that we cut the butterflies from. We're going to put it right back down here. So I like to put it around where the butterflies go as well as the edges. So any little spaces in here, I'm just going to fortify that a little bit. All right. I'll put this right on here. Whoops. Ah! Did you see that butterfly fly? That butterfly flew right at me. So there we go. We've got that done. And you could certainly put just a greeting on just like that and be done. But no, that's not what we're going to do here. we're going to take a little bit of our Tombow liquid glue, and I'm going to, nobody stopped me. Wait, this is wrong. This is wrong. I'm forgetting something. I'm forgetting the glimmer paper, which is the most important part. So I'm going to very carefully lift this up. And here's another little tip for you. If you're having a hard time kind of pulling it up, then if you just breathe on it, the moisture probably sounds kind of weird coming through your computer screen. Sorry about that, but if you just breathe on it, it loosens it up. It's like how, you know, when you were a kid and you wanted to steam open a letter. I didn't actually find that very successful for me, but all right, that's up. I need this piece cut though. So we're going to cut this now. I have to decide. This is longer than I need it. So I need to decide what colors I want to keep and which colors I don't. I know I need the pink because it goes with my Mellow Mambo card base. And I think, well, let's first, I really like the Mango Melody end too, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to cut this just a shade smaller than that white piece. So the white piece was 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to cut it just slightly under because I don't want it to stick out over it at all. And so just under 4 as well. So I have some nice glimmery pieces here that I can use up some other time. Let's get that out of the way. And my fingers and hands are not working at the moment. Let's see how this goes. Nope, because sticking up too much. So you can't really cut it too much smaller. Like I can't cut it 1/8 of an inch smaller just because there's not a lot of room around these butterflies. That's good. Okay. So see, that's pretty. Just a little black piece of greeting over here would look nice too. I mean, you don't have to always have the detail, but I do like the detail. So we have that. I'm going to get my glue here, and I actually want my wings to stick up. So I am only going to glue the bodies down. Just a little bit of glue. Now, and you put it right back in the hole that it came out of. Because the glimmer paper is so textured, you're going to want to just hold it there for just a second. I'm going to repeat it with the next one. And I find just holding it down for a little bit helps, as opposed to just letting it sit and just do it on its own. I really do find that, you know, a little bit of pressure really helps it get going. And so this one, it's a little bit tricky because the body's really skinny down here. So I'm just going to try to work it just a little bit. Come on. There we go. Sometimes afraid when I just need a little bit of glue, I'm so hesitant with it because I don't want a big old glob coming out. So just hold that there for a second. Put my glue cap on. And so I will hold the body down as I flip up the wings a little bit. Now, if you're mailing this, obviously the wings are going to settle a bit, but they will still not lay completely flat in the holes, most likely, if you're bending them a little bit to start. All right, so there we have that. And let's go ahead and put that onto our card base. So see, I was putting pressure on the back, and the wings are still up quite a bit. So here we go. Put this back down here. There we go. Very nice and clean cards. And clean cards are really, I mean, that is just my style. I like clean cards with lots of sharp definitions of color. We do need a piece for inside. So let's go ahead and take another piece. It's the same measurement, and put this inside. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to take this piece out here again, and I think what I'll do on this one is I'm just going to cut. It looks like one a little bit more than a quarter. Now let's do a quarter. I'm just going to take a strip that is a 1/4 inch wide. I'm going to take another strip that is a 1/4 inch wide. And let's get out my silicone mat so that my glue doesn't get all over my table, because my tape runner is wider. So we will put this strip right over here. You could also, you know, if you had a larger piece, I only had some small pieces. I'm coming to the end of this package of rainbow glimmer paper, but I could also, you know, cut out a detailed butterfly from the glimmer paper. Now, I have had the privilege as a demonstrator of having a sneak peek at the new mini catalog that's coming out in July. Well, it's coming out for you in August. It's coming out for me in July. And the celebration catalog. And one of the things that I thought it was interesting that it mentioned was when you use these detailed dies on things like the glimmer paper or the glitter paper, it does dull them a little bit. So just be careful that you're not just cutting a ton of butterflies out of your glimmer paper with this, because it could dull them. So anyway, that's my inside. Don't know what I want to write yet. I'll probably have some sort of birthday greeting to go with that. But we do need something that says happy birthday. So I'm going to get a stamp set out that has a birthday greeting. Which one do I want? I had one out here earlier. And of course, it's not the ones I'm grabbing right now. So it must be out on my desk for use. Oh yes, here it is. So I got my artistically inked set, which I love, and I cannot wait to play with it. I was trying to hold off until I got the paper, but that's not going to be able to be purchased until, you know, I think next week or something. But I'm going to use this happy birthday. See, I've already mounted it. And you have probably noticed by now that one of my favorite things to do is emboss white onto black cardstock. One of my absolute favorites. All right, now I gotta find my piece of black cardstock. Hopefully I haven't touched it too much. I'm gonna ink it up in Versamark. Now I am noticing that with this set, it looks like the happy birthday is cheating to the top just a little bit. So I'm gonna have to pull this towards me. Sorry, it might come out of range for you a little bit, but I gotta get my head over there. I gotta get it straight. I'm afraid I might. Oh, that's not bad. Did pretty well. Oh, you saw my gray hair peeking through there. There's a little bit of a delay on my computer, so I saw my gray head peeking over there. So here we go. We've got, that looks good. Set this out of the way so I don't melt my whole jar that's left. Get my heat tool out. just until you see it turn shiny. And move along to the next part, and then you're done. By the time you've set your heat tool down, everything should be dry, but I am going to take this opportunity to clean up. I don't always clean up, but one of the things that I always do clean up right away is my embossing powder, because otherwise, you know what happens, right? You spill it everywhere, and you just get all sorts of junk in it. All sorts of junk. So I am going to trim this down a little bit, and I can either decide that, oh, maybe I want a little crooked angle there, and maybe not so crooked here. So I could have something that looks like this. Yeah, I don't mind the angle, I guess. So what I did notice, though, is I really like the antenna poking up. So he's going to cover some of the butterflies, but he doesn't have to cover everything. And so I'm going to take his little antennas, and I'm going to pull them up a little bit. And I'm going to slide this right underneath. It comes up over a little bit. So I have to bring him down. So that's not going to work. It's not going to work for me. I have to trim a little bit more. So I'm just going to trim this straight, because otherwise it gets tucked under this wing, and that didn't quite look right to me either. We need some dimensionals. Dimensionals make everything better. This is one of the things that I go through the most, I think, dimensionals. I just love them. Fortunately, we get them in almost every paper pumpkin, and so I have extras of those laying around from time to time. Let's see if it's straight. I think it's straight. So there we go. Now all we have to do is add a little bit of bling. And so these in color jewels, so this is polished pink, which is not melon mambo, but these are these are iridescent. So they really cover a bunch of pinks. This would cover the Mango Melody, but it is actually the yellow, the pale papaya color. This is Evening Evergreen, but it really doesn't strike me as evergreen just because of the shine and the iridescence. This is Fresh Freesia, but it goes beautifully with the purples in the Rainbow Glimmer. And then Soft Succulent, which also has, you know, depending on how you're looking at it, a green, blue tint, yellowish even. So we're going to add a couple of these, and there's some different sizes. There's little tiny, tiny ones. And then there's bigger ones. So let's see where we're going to put this. Let's put this one here. And I want to grab a different color. I'm going to grab a bigger one. Put that there. Let's grab a bigger yellowy one, and we'll put that up here. So that's 3, but I'm going to actually go ahead and get wild and crazy and put on 5. So I think I'm going to do another yellow and another pink. So I'm going to take a big pink, put it down here just for a little bit more balance, and a smaller yellow. I'm not using my take your pick tool, just no reason. My scissors were handy. So, and that's exactly what I used before my take your pick tool came along. So there's my card.